Hello, beautiful third graders. Today, we are learning to identify quadrilaterals by their attributes. You know what a quadrilateral is, right? Remember quad, four, a shape with four sides. Are you wondering what an attribute is? An attribute is kind of like a characteristic. You know how we use characteristics or character traits to describe our characters, like Opal? How would you describe Opal? You would describe her as kind, probably friendly, maybe, what else? She's kind of sassy, right? Kind of sneaky. Remember how she got Winn-Dixie in the beginning? So you're describing what she's like. Same idea with attributes. They describe what a quadrilateral is like, okay? So we are learning to identify quadrilaterals. Right now, I want you to go grab this worksheet, different kinds of quadrilaterals, and I want you to grab a marker, okay? Go. Push pause on the video, and come back with a marker and this worksheet. Okay, so you have this worksheet, different kinds of quadrilaterals, and you have a marker. I want you to do what I did here. See the definition. It says a quadrilateral is a shape with four sides. I want you to either underline or highlight, if your marker is a light color, that definition. Okay, so a quadrilateral is a two-dimensional shape with how many sides? Hold up 4 fingers. 4 sides. So there's a bunch of quadrilaterals here. What makes them a quadrilateral? Yes, they all have 4 sides. Do they all look the same? Not at all. But they all have 4 sides. That's what's in common, especially this one, this kind of boomerang looking one. How many sides does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a quadrilateral, but it just looks very different. So we're going to be looking at the attributes or the characteristics of quadrilaterals. The top of this page teaches us about all different kinds of quadrilaterals. Let's start with the trapezoid. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides. So mathematicians use these little arrows here to show us, see those little arrows? To show us that those sides are parallel. Do you remember what parallel means? Parallel means that the lines are always the same distance apart. So I gave an example of railroad tracks. Railroad tracks are always the same distance apart. They would never cross each other. If they did, the train would crash, right? Yeah, so parallel lines are like railroad tracks. They always remain the same distance apart. So an attribute of a parallelogram would be that it has at least one set of parallel lines. Okay, so our trapezoid, I meant trapezoid, I just said parallelogram. Oops. Our trapezoid has one pair of parallel sides, and it's denoted, or the attributes are shown with those little arrows there. Do you see those little arrows on any other shape? Yes, you do. Right here on the parallelogram, it shows us that these are parallel, and then it has 2 little arrows, and that's showing us that these are parallel. These sides are parallel as well. So it has 2 pairs of parallel sides. The rhombus, you can see, point to the rhombus. That's a quadrilateral with 4 sides. They're all the same length. Are you thinking that's kind of like a square? Yes, exactly. But the square has right angles. Do you see the little corners there? That's showing us that the square has right angles, and the rectangle. You can see those little squares in the corners of the rectangles as well. Those are showing us that they are right angles. Okay, so we're going to go back to this part of our worksheet to figure out the rest of it, okay? Looking at those attributes. All right, number 1, circle the word or words, see the S there, that describe each shape. Okay, so is this shape a trapezoid? That's the first one. Let's look up at the definition of trapezoid. A quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides. How many pairs of parallel sides does this rectangle have? It has 2. So this rectangle is not a trapezoid. So we don't want to circle that. Is it a parallelogram? Well, let's look up here at the definition of parallelogram. A quadrilateral with 2 pairs of parallel sides. Are there 2 pairs of parallel sides? Do these sides, these lines, remain the same distance apart? Yes. So this would be a parallelogram. It has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Is it a rectangle? Yes. It has 90-degree angles. These little squares tell us that it's 90-degree angles. So yes, I'm going to circle that, definitely. What about a rhombus? Look up at the definition here. A quadrilateral with 4 sides that are all the same length. Are the sides on this shape all the same length? Now, so I'm not going to circle a rhombus. And then finally, a square. Let's look at the definition of square. A quadrilateral with 4 angles and 4 sides that are all the same length. Once again, not going to circle square because the sides in this guy are not all the same, right? So circle the words that match with the definitions for this shape and do the same for this one. Now number 2. Number 2 says, Jackie circled all of these words for this shape. Is she right or wrong? Explain your answer. So, is this shape a trapezoid? Some of you say no right away because this shape has 2 sets of parallel lines. A trapezoid has just 1 pair of parallel sides. Okay, so she didn't circle that, so she's right on so far. Go down each word and make sure that the word she circled makes sense with the definition. So then you can tell us, is she right or wrong? Explain your answer. All right, next page. Now this page is kind of like a matching game. Draw a line from each description to every quadrilateral that has those attributes. So you might be drawing more than one line. Okay, so I'm going to start up here with this first one, a trapezoid. A trapezoid, oh, I forgot. Let me go back to the first page. What's a trapezoid? Would you read it with me? A quadrilateral with exactly 1 pair of parallel sides. 1 pair. So which of these shapes has 1 pair of parallel sides? I'm going to make my line, and I can even use my marker, but I probably use a pencil because what if I goof, right? I'm going to draw that line from trapezoid to the shape that has 1 pair of parallel sides. One pair. Okay, I don't see any other shape with just 1 pair of parallel sides. So that's the only one I'm going to draw that line to. Then parallelogram, a quadrilateral with 2 pairs. Draw a line to each shape that has 2 pair of parallel sides opposite to each other. I'm going to give you a hint on that one. There is more than one answer. Okay, you're going to be drawing more than one line. Finally, the bottom of the page is a mystery number line. See here? You're going to start down here with 7 times 2. putting your answer in the shaded box. Then 7 times 4. Oh, you're saying that's a double. Absolutely, double this number that you put here. Finally, 7 times something equals 56. Or 56 divided by 7 equals what number? Fill in the shaded box. Take a picture of both pages and send it to your teacher. Thanks, guys.